which leads to what's a good time to get a coach. Anytime really, of course, but the reason for founders to come to me very rarely has to do with... All right, hello beautiful people. It's raining outside, I'm filming inside again. I have a few things to talk about, a little bit random. I have I think 2 giveaways as well today, so if you want to stick around, quick plug. Of the 17% of the viewers of this channel who actually subscribe, if you want to be one of them, that would be legendary. Also, quick like and share. I really want to kick this algorithm into high gear. I want to talk about a few random things today, but all of them helpful. Yeah, so difference between advisors, mentors and coaches. So they are overlapping and it's not a clear line. However, the advisor is usually somebody who's very senior in your industry, has done things before, they have battle scars and they just know how to get shit done, right? So they come and sit with you, they come into your company and then they look at stuff and go 1, 2, 3, 4, these are the things you do, and they're out again. An advisor that sticks around for longer and that is accessible to you over a period of time, that's a mentor. You know, they also give you the good advice, but they take a little bit more interest in the human being as well, and they're there. So let's just say that often they have mentors in startup accelerators, people you see once a week, and you update them and you know they keep you accountable and through the progress and stuff. So they advise you and then you start implementing it and then they're course correcting as you go. And then a person who takes even more interest in the human being is the coach. So as a coach, I'm also advising. I'm talking about very technical things within the business. I talk about strategy. I'm also mentoring. I'm available over time. But what sets a coach apart from the mentor is that we are going deeper on the coaching the human being to grow as a human being. Imagine you have to fix a Mercedes with a screwdriver and a hammer. It's just not possible. But these are the 2 tools a lot of founders have. That's how they could started their startup. They're really good at one thing, and those tools were enough to do the prototype, to do the MVP and all sorts of things, maybe talk to customers even. But now the business is growing and there's so many complex relationships, the team is growing, super stressful, and without the right tools, it will be very, very difficult to do your job. There's frameworks, there's communication styles. You also need to learn a lot about yourself. What stresses me, where do I get triggered? How do I communicate to people? Basically coaching, which leads to what's a good time to get a coach. Anytime really, of course, but the reason for founders to come to me very rarely has to do with growing as a human being and mental health and so on and so on. They usually come to me with a real problem. Something is painful. Maybe there's animosity between the co-founders now. My co-founder, they are not holding up their end of the stick. I'm working so much harder. Without me, the company wouldn't work, but we both have 50%, that's not fair. That's a really good example. Or when you're really stuck, and let's just say you post your first equity round and you have a few million in the bank, you suddenly feel that whatever got you here won't get you there. You have to really shift gears from chief emergency officer to chief executive officer, basically. You're not firefighting, you're not a scrappy startup anymore, and whatever you do, there's still fires, but you fix them only one more time and then you put them into routine, into a structure, and make sure they don't happen again. So that's a really good time to reach out for a coach. I did write this book about a year ago. It briefly was on the bestseller list and everything. This is very much an early startup founder book. A lot of tips and tricks like what's a safe note and lean startup and how to do a pitch deck and all that sort of stuff. And I'm writing my second book and I'm giving away a free chapter. A little bit selfish though, because I would love you to read a little bit of it and give me brutally honest feedback. My new book is around the way founders approach me. And I compare it to the ER, the emergency room. Ambulance arrives, and when I arrive and there's blood everywhere and there's injury, you have to stop the bleed first, right? And then you have to operate, and then you can start healing. So when somebody is literally bleeding, you don't talk about a better diet. You stop the bleed. So that's very much the same. The founders come to me, there's an immediate pain point. I roll up my sleeves and we go in and we fix that. You know, we stop the bleed. Like whatever it is, we fix it. And then we restructure operations, things in the business for this not to happen again. And then when you can start breathing again and when you feel a little bit better and calmer, then we talk about growth strategy, then we talk about all the tools that are necessary to grow a business, from like all the business tools, but also the interpersonal tools. Like at one stage, it becomes apparent that you cannot grow the business if you can't communicate well and if you don't have the necessary frameworks to help people communicate, you know, so you don't create all these silos and so on and so on. So that's a really good time to get a coach, and that's also a time where you can afford a coach. That's another thing. So that said though, anybody out there who feels they just want to soundboard something, or they just want to vent, or they just want to talk about a specific problem, please reach out to me. I can always say no if I don't feel like it, but you can always ask. And I'm a go-giver, not a go-getter. If I can help, I will help every single time. So reach out, don't carry it around, especially if you're not feeling well, especially when you feel a bit lonely, especially when everything is sort of, the walls are closing in on you. That's a really good time. It's not a sign of weakness, that's a sign of strength. Reaching out and asking for help, that is the difference between a good founder and a great founder. All right, I think that's it. So, the books. Random one. Okay, of course. Art of War, Sun Tzu. Super good. I'm not saying you're fighting a war, but the stuff in there, translated into business, gold. Of course, The Prince. Super good book. I'm not so fond of the advice in here, but it might help you understand your competitors. Seth, classic. Tim Ferriss, The Courage to be Disliked. Very good book. Very good book. Very good book for me. Oh yeah, this one is good too. Psychology of Money. Yeah. I grew up in a Protestant blue-collar household, and money was always bad. You know, look at the unhappy rich people. Only poor people can be happy and stuff. So, always stopped me from creating wealth. Weird. What else? Think again. Give or take. Oh, The One Thing. Also really good. Let me know if you want me to do some book reviews. Some of them are really good. If you don't like books, that's cool too. I don't think they have movies though. But if you want me to talk about something specific, let me know. I'm more than happy to talk about it. So I think that was a nice little video. It went a little bit all over the place, but I hope it was helpful. So have a beautiful, beautiful week. And again, reach out. See you next time. Bye.